Advice given is for general information purposes. All legal cases are different, and you should seek the advice of your own attorney before acting or making decisions. No attorney-client privilege applies to communications on this show, and no attorney-client relationship is created by calling or writing in. Attorney Rominger practices only in Pennsylvania and maintains his primary office in Carlisle, Pennsylvania.
Well, good afternoon. Carl Rominger here, 540-0580. That's the talk line number. So you want to get on here and get your legal questions answered. As you know, I'm Carl Rominger, lawyer here in the Mid-State. Former guest on the Bob Durgan Show, right? Since I can't be a current guest. And as you know, I'm one of the guys that threw my hat in the ring for that new show. So we're still waiting for a big announcement, aren't we, Shane? Yeah, we're still waiting for the big announcement. I shot yesterday at the, I guess it was for the oh, gosh, I'll remember. It was a charity shoot. Applebee's put it on over at Blue Ridge for the Nature Center up in Millersville. And RJ was there and Dan Steele was there. And I'm proud to announce I beat both of them. I shot more birds out of 100 than, I can't say them combined, but individually, yes. 540-0580. Jim, you're on the air. Hey, Jim.
Oh, yes, Carl. Hey, you have a great show, and I want to thank you for taking my call, and I hope you get the assignment in the afternoons.
Well, thank you very much.
No problem, sir. You're very professional. I like you. I have a question on a breakup. I'm going through a severe, nasty breakup right now, and the policeman told me that if I didn't let my girlfriend in to get her possessions out of my house, she could bust the door down if I wasn't there. Is that true?
Well, let me explain it this way. How long was she living with you?
Several years, but we've been split up for 2 months, and it's complicated. It's nasty.
Right. And did she move out 2 months ago, or have you had her back in the door a few times since?
Well, she had a key. She maintained a key and came back
and
left her dog there. You remember I called and said it was a kennel.
What? Yeah, I remember. It's okay. What the I was thinking this after. What the police officer's basically saying is that she's a tenant and that she's gotten tenant status. And I think I remember talking about this with you, where I said the problem is it's not clear if she's really abandoned the space. So, you know, if I haven't paid my rent, but I'm on vacation in Europe for 2 months, and now you're really scratching your head because I'm on vacation in Europe for 2 months and I haven't paid my rent, but you don't know I'm gone, right? Or you think I went overseas, am I coming back or not? You probably should still evict me. So that's probably why the police were taking that position. Now, I find that police officers would sometimes take the position, you got to let her in and she can break the locks. I've had other police officers just take the position, hey, lady, I'm not sure if you're a tenant or not, but if you want this stuff out, you go to court. So that's just a police officer maybe giving you some practical guidance as to where he thinks the landlord-tenant law is going to come down on it. Did you serve her with her notice to quit yet?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, well, it was verbal, and we agreed on it. I changed the locks and stuff. She was there, and I said, you're going to have to get a hold of me when you went in. But she's not cooperative. But I wanted to hire you. I mean, after the show or on the air, I wanted to talk with you. Gotcha.
Yeah, what I would do, just call my office, 241.
I did call, but I kind of needed some immediate assistance.
Gotcha. So, my advice.
I know. You called me dumb the first time. I've been calling in several times. First time you said you're dumb. Why'd you do that? You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah, I didn't call you dumb.
Maybe I meant maybe I had more money than brains for it.
I meant dumb with two M's, not with the B at the end.
I know. Hey, I am dumb. I'm stupid.
No,
but
you're just.
Hey, I wanted to contact you and hire you. Can I leave my name and number with the guy and talk to you later?
Yeah. I'll put you on hold. Here's the deal, and I'll just have him email it to Linda to put on a schedule or get you on Monday morning. But if anybody else needs a number, it's 241-6070 for the office.
I already called and left a message.
Okay, got it. But yeah, I was just going to tell you what's funny is, women are evil, right? No, just kidding. But you're in love and you're not in love, and it's a breakup, and there's a lot of emotion and baggage, and sometimes you don't make the same ruthless legal choices, but on the other hand, you don't let complete strangers usually just hang out in your living room for years at a time either and walk their dog around your backyard. So that's how you got in this position. The heart and the mind and the law don't always mix. All right, my friend.
Can you contact me later? Can I leave my number?
Yeah, hold on. I got to put you back on hold. Okay.
Thanks, Carl.
You don't give it out on the air because once people realize that you're a soon-to-be bachelor, you'll get 100 phone calls. All right, hold on.
Thank you, sir. You're a real professional. I appreciate you taking the time.
Thank you very much. 540-0580, Carl Rominger here, taking your legal questions. Want to make sure you remember Harrisburg Beer and Cigar is having a big barbecue on August 31st at 2 p.m. I think it's a Sunday, right? Yeah, it's a Sunday. So get over there, stop in, get some more information on the barbecue, how to get a ticket, what you need to do. Harrisburg Beer and Cigar. It's over off of Union Deposit near the Lowe's, across from the Outback area in the Texas Roadhouse there. They're in the plaza across the street. Amazing $500,000 inventory of cigars, great lounge, great selection of beer, too. It's as good as any beer distributor you've ever been to. But the cigar selection is probably better than any cigar shop you usually frequent. 540-0580. Gene, you're on the air.
Good afternoon, Carl. How are you?
Good.
I have a question. I have a 50-year-old daughter who is in prison, has been in prison almost 2 years. She expects to be out in April or May.
Okay.
She was convicted simultaneously on a third charge of DUI, and at the same time, actually with the same judge, she was convicted on 3 counts of embezzlement. She stole almost $170,000. Her question is, she has to serve a 1-year suspension of her driver's license. Will that suspension run concurrent with her prison term?
No, the suspension doesn't. PennDOT does not start the suspensions until the clerk of court certifies to them that you are out of prison.
And then it will begin.
Then it'll begin. So her license suspension will not start until she's paroled.
Oh, well, she wanted an answer to that question, and I looked all over the PennDOT website and couldn't find it.
Yeah, now, and it used to be, I say used to be, way back in the day when I first started, people were like, it's not fair. They go to jail and they lose their driver's license right away, and then when they get out of jail, they qualify to get it back. That's not really punishment. So the plan was, right, to make it real punishment. Of course, what this means is that anybody getting out of prison who's been in for any length of time, now, of course, we need you to get a job as a condition of your parole. We need you to be a productive citizen. By the way, you live in rural Pennsylvania, so good luck. You have no driver's license.
Yeah. All right. Is there any way she can apply for an exception?
There is not a work license. Now, was this a first offense DUI or a second offense DUI?
Third.
Third, yeah. There will not be a work. First offense DUIs, you can get a work. You can drive for work after a certain number of months. Right. Depending on your BAC. Second and third offenses, generally, there is no work license.
Yeah.
All right?
All right, Carl. Thank you.
Sorry. All right, take care. Glad I could at least answer the question anyhow. 540-0580. Eric, you want to talk about the most serious of offenses?
Yeah, it's kind of an odd question, but it affects me in my daily life.
Okay.
When I'm going to work and whatnot, in my community, it's a pretty nice community, but we have a lot of, I guess, undesirable types.
Mm-hmm.
Feel the need to walk in the road. One day, I was going to the store with my girlfriend, and there was a group of just like 15 teenagers to young adults just walking in the middle of the road. And, I kind of wouldn't want to run into any of them, but at the end of the day, it's like, if I happen to, what's the legality behind what they're doing? And if I was to accidentally collide with them, what would be the legality in that?
Well, okay. All right. First of all, it's illegal you're supposed to cross the road in certain ways, okay? But let's assume that they're walking down the middle of the road, and so they are going to be at least contributorily negligent potentially for any injury that occurs, right?
Yeah.
But here's the problem. You're the guy with the car, and you have a rule called the assured clear distance, okay?
Uh-huh.
So if I come flying up over a hill, and then there's a guy right in the middle of the road on the blind side of the hill, there's an argument that I should have been driving prudently enough that I can stop within the assured clear distance in front of me. So if I can only see 20 feet, I should be able to stop within 20 feet, okay?
Okay.
So you're going to be negligent. Now, on the other hand, if you're on a highway and let's say the speed limit's 45 and there's cars behind you, and you slow down to maybe 30 to crest the hill and you don't quite meet the assured clear distance rule, we might find that you're 30% at fault, but the other guy's 70% at fault for being in the middle of the road, okay?
I see.
Then you're okay. But general rule, it's sort of like this. If I smash into the back end of somebody else's car, it's possible they were negligent. It's possible they were contributorily negligent. But the rule of thumb in most circumstances, I'm going to be the one who's found negligent. If you're the pedestrian and you get hit by the car, usually the car is the one that's going to be found negligent, usually.
Okay.
So
does the same go for bikers?
Bikers are just like cars on the road. So they have all the same rules and regulations, except they don't have to be registered.
All right. Well, Thanks a lot.
All right, boss. 540-0580. Carl Rominger answering your legal questions. We get back from the break. We'll keep going for another hour and 45 minutes. Shane claims there's no Easter egg in that ad, but we don't believe him. Matt, you're on WHP 580 with attorney Carl Rominger. My talk line number is 540-0580. Matt, what do you want to talk about?
Hey, Mr. Rominger. How are you doing today?
Good.
Well, basically, my question is as to the statute of limitations in our state.
Okay.
It was 2009. Around this time, I was pulling in my driveway. I was doing about 3 or 4 miles an hour. And I live on Knives Road, which is kind of a treacherous road because there's blind corners. And somebody, an older fella, came around the corner doing about 55 and a 35 and rear-ended my car. And when he did that, I hit my head on the seatbelt anchor, and it caused a traumatic brain injury.
Mm-hmm.
And my brain swelled and bled. And over the course of the next 3 to 6 months, my right eye went legally blind.
Okay, but let me ask you this question. You had 2 years to bring us, from the date of the injury to bring your claim.
Really?
Why didn't you file a lawsuit within 2 years?
Well, because about 6 or 7 months after that happened, my mother was killed by nursing home neglect, and I sunk into a kind of a mire of alcoholism and just not caring about anything.
Yeah, and unfortunately, that 2-year statute just sort of doesn't toll. It's from when you think you're injured. Your capacity to bring the claim, I don't think, would toll it.
Yeah, because, had that not happened to my mother, I would have brought it right away.
No, I understand. Never talked with a lawyer?
Oh, I talked to... See, my thought process at the time was to call a big city lawyer.
Okay, but so let's assume you talk with them and give them the date of the accident? And all
did back during that time, and I called a lawyer from Philadelphia because, I didn't know anything about lawyers,
right.
And I thought, and they were like, well, you're in Harrisburg, so, we're not interested. So I figured that I didn't have a case, and I just gave up. So essentially, if there's a 2-year statute, I guess I'm kind of out in the cold.
Yes, you are. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Well, I guess that's the answer to my question, and thanks.
And you're saying, what month was it?
It was around July of
09?
09.
Okay, well, yeah. So you're more than 4 years past.
Yeah.
Yep. All right, my friend. Sorry about that.
Well, thanks anyway, sir.
All right, good luck. 540-0580. That's why if you know somebody that's been in a car accident or injured, and this happens quite frequently, people for whatever reason decide not to bring a claim. Sounds like he had, maybe some other reasons not to bring a claim besides he just didn't want to. And then later, they go, oh, I always thought my knee was going to get better, and it's not, and it's been 2.5 years. And I'm like, sorry, 2 years from the accident. That's just the way it is. Mike, you're on WHP 580 with Carl Rominger. What's going on?
Hey, Carl, thanks for taking my call. I have a landlord-tenant dispute that was actually my girlfriend, so I wanted to ask. Basically what happened is that she was on, for whatever reason, they had signed a 13-month lease.
Okay.
And I don't understand why it would have been 13 months, but whatever. There's also terms in the lease that say after 12 months that either party is free to cancel the lease at that time. So what had happened was the landlord verbally indicated to her that he wasn't going to renew the lease after 12 months. So, she got out, everything was good, and then he decided he was going to keep the security deposit because she didn't pay for the 13th month. And I was just wondering, in terms of how they would look at that if she decided she was going to dispute it, would the 13 months that are actually the dates on the lease trump the 12-month clause, or is there like a leg to stand on there?
So I'm lost here.
Okay.
So the 13 months comes from where?
That's the actual dates that are listed on the lease.
Okay, and then the lease also references some other 12-month period.
Right, where after 12 months, the landlord is free to say that he's not renewing it, or the tenant also would be free to do
right,
that.
And then how long? What's the renewal term?
Month to month, I guess. Is that what you're asking?
Is that what it says? It goes month to month thereafter, or it's okay.
Yeah.
But there's 13 months in the lease.
Right.
Well, to the extent that a document is inconsistent internally, okay?
Uh-huh.
It's a contract. All ambiguities in contracts go against the drafter. So the side asserting it is going to win if they're not the drafter on an inconsistency.
Would the drafter be the landlord then?
I don't know who drafted it. Did you write your own lease, or did the land? Usually, the landlord provides the lease, right?
Yeah. The landlord would have provided the lease.
Usually, but it's possible a tenant could provide their own lease. But it's the drafter, so it's whoever who provided the document.
Okay, so that would be the landlord then. If the landlord gave a verbal indication that at the end of 12 months he wasn't going to renew it, then that would mean that the 13 months initially listed would sort of be null and void.
No, you're missing my point.
Okay.
My point is, to the extent that the document's inconsistent and says that the landlord can kick you out after 12 months, but it says that you have a 13-month lease and another clause, you're going to get a 13-month lease if you want it because you assert the ambiguity against the drafter.
Okay, so...
Right? But here's the question. I don't know what the hell the difference is because all you're getting is the difference between 12 months and 13 months, right?
Well, the difference is he said get out after 12, so she got out, but then he's keeping the security deposit and claiming that she didn't pay the 13th month, so he's keeping the security deposit.
Oh, well, then she's going to say, I obeyed the part of the 12-month clause, and I want my money back because you gave... Now, does she have proof that he said to get out?
We have a voicemail, yeah.
Yeah, hold on to it. Well, sue him. Sue him in district judge court.
Okay.
All right?
All right, great.
All right.
Thank you very much.
I got it. I understand now. Vey. I got a voicemail. If I'm going to punch the next person that comes in my office and tells me they have a voicemail, get it in writing. If somebody says they want you to do something, then just say, put it in writing. Put it in writing. Hand it to me on a piece of paper. That's what I say. Okay. Big update here, because this whole fiasco about this Harrisburg beer and cigars, we had the wrong date. Well, we didn't have the wrong date. They moved it. That's what they did. And that's why I thought it was Sunday. September 1st at 2 p.m. Sunday, not Saturday. September 1st at 2 p.m. Harrisburg Beer and Cigar, the big barbecue. So get your butt over there and get your ticket. I'm going to be there with bells on. I'm going to smoke a bunch of cigars, maybe do some traditional dancing. September 1st, 2 p.m., Harrisburg Beer and Cigars, okay? Also, if you need to liquidate an estate or business, I recommend you call RJ Gold Auctions. He can buy outright or sell your items at auction. RJ Gold can be reached at 645-0061. That's 645-0061. He purchases outright items such as medals, pins, patches, tokens, awards, badges, and most historical collectors. He can pay you right away. He's RJ Gold, 645-0061, 3712 North 6th Street, Harrisburg. Plan to attend RJ's awesome auction Sunday, August 25th. That's tomorrow, right? Yeah, tomorrow. Sunday, August 25th at 1 p.m. at the American Legion in Harrisburg. So make a plan of getting over there. It's RJ's Awesome Auction, Sunday, August 25th, 1 p.m. at the American Legion in Harrisburg. PA licensed auctioneer AU 005798. If you got questions about that auction, you want to see if RJ will buy some of your stuff, call RJ Gold Auctions at 645-0061. And just a reminder that CDL Labor Logistics is still seeking qualified commercial drivers. Make sure you tell them Carl Rominger sent you. For long-term, high-paying driving positions, both local and regional, call 866-293-1880. John, you're on the air.
Hey, how you doing there, Carl?
Good. What's going on?
I have a question for you. Now, in a case where something goes to Superior Court, like a driver's license, low-level PennDOT type case, and then they came back and said that the attorneys were allowed, the Superior Court, okay, you're allowed to get attorney's fees.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And as a result of that, now the judge is supposed to, it says, make the determination, okay, on those fees, because they, the Supreme Court said, well, this was should have never been brought, is what they're saying.
Right.
And so now,
so PennDOT asked for fees in the appellate court.
Right. And they're saying they're entitled to them because the appeal was not a worthy appeal.
Mm-hmm.
They use words like frivolous, that sort of thing, but we know that they're saying it was unnecessary, I guess you could say, an appeal.
Right.
Now, when PennDOT goes and asks for that money, do we have a right to see that what their attorneys' bills are? In other words, can we depose them, ask them before we even get to a trial to show us proof of your billing and where the money went?
Well, the interesting question is I know you're at least entitled to a hearing on it, okay?
Okay.
So at hearing, you can cross-examine in front of the judge and ask for proof. Here would be my thought on it. Mm-hmm. As a government agency, they can't really, they can collect their I think they can collect their actual fees. I don't think they can collect their, they can't just pretend they bill $250 an hour, okay? Mm-hmm. So what I would want, this is the three things I'd want. I'd want to see how the billing records were actually kept.
Okay.
Because I don't know if PennDOT actually keeps actual timesheets or not, okay? Uh-huh. Meaning, I don't know if those lawyers actually keep it or are they going to reconstruct it after the fact. So that may be a proof problem on how much time they have into it. Number two, their actual cost is just going to be how much time they used divided by how many hours that lawyer works in a year or as a factor of their salary, right? Mm-hmm. Because if they're paying the PennDOT lawyer $50,000 a year and he works 1,000 hours a year, right? Mm-hmm. That's $50 an hour.
Okay.
So I don't think they can come in there and say, and actually, if you figure, I think that it's going to be closer to $30 or $40 an hour when you get the actual breakdown. Mm-hmm. But you have to cross-examine it right.
Well, let me ask you this. Am I entitled to, actually it's my son that went and filed this thing and he ended up losing. Mm-hmm. Is he entitled to get that information before a hearing, or you just got to do everything?
I think you could ask the court, but I think at this point the court's going to say it's already been found that you wasted PennDOT's time, so they're not going to bend over backwards to help you.
Okay.
All right?
Okay.
Good luck, my friend.
Thank you.
540-0580. Get back from the break. We'll keep taking your legal questions. Carl Rominger here. Go to romingerlaw.com or check us out on Facebook. Oh, welcome back. Carl Rominger here. 540-0580. Let's see. What did we post on Facebook? Last night we found an article. Kind of made me laugh. This is a story of a stinky vessel. 2 fishermen overcome by rotting fish gas in Maine. So they climbed out in the hold. Now, this was after they took the fish out. So I'm wondering about the, where did the fish that came out of the boat go before the vessel got so stinky that they couldn't go down in it? I don't know. 540-0580. Jerry, you're on WHP 580 with Carl Rominger. What's going on?
Hey, Carl, thanks for taking my call. The reason I'm calling, I know the game law states that 30 days after a bait, in this instance a salt block, is removed, it's still considered to be out. Okay?
Right.
Okay, now, salt block was removed beginning of October. Don't hunt archery. It's 30 days till bear season is well after the bear season's well after the 30 days that the salt block is removed. It's still up. Or rifle deer season comes. The second week of deer season, Friday of the second week, is shoot a deer. Sunday, winterize the camp, close it down for the winter, and put the salt block back out. Go home, don't go back up until March. Is there a violation there of any sort?
Well, I don't know. If a tree falls in the forest, nobody hears it. Does it make a sound? And so, first of all, obviously nobody got in trouble. But second of all, is there a violation? And the answer is maybe. My understanding from having tangled with the Game Commission recently on a salt block issue is they take the position that once the mineral gets into the soil, that even though the salt block may be gone, there may still be bait because you've mineralized the soil there. Okay?
Okay.
You got me?
Yeah.
So here's the question. There's only going to be a violation if that soil were still acting as bait. And I don't know if it was or not, right?
No, well, it wasn't, but apparently the conservation officer in the area does think so, because he took some time, like I said, that the block was put out Sunday after rifle deer season was closed. The camp was winterized, all the good stuff, power was shut off. Left, didn't come back up until the beginning of April. And the game protector took the salt block and wants to talk to us.
Well, first of all, why would you talk to him? What are you going to say to him that's going to help? Well, Carl, I'm just going to explain it to the police because I think if I... Listen, let me explain something to you. Anything you say can and will be used against you in a court of law. There's nothing you can say except confirm that you knew the salt block was there, right? And that you removed it at one point and maybe put it back at another. How does that help you?
Well, he had a game protector come and confiscate.
I don't care. How does talking to him help you?
Well, I don't.
How does talking to him help you? It doesn't. What? Because they taught you in school to talk to the police. You are a victim of public education, sir. I was taught that police get cats out of trees, and I should talk to the police, and I should cooperate in government investigation so I can get fined. Is that what you're telling me? No, I'm just beating you up here a little bit, okay?
Yeah, he's arrogant.
I don't care. Arrogant. So he's arrogant, so you should talk to him? Did you talk to him already? Is that what you did and you just don't want to tell me, isn't it?
No, I didn't.
All right, well, good. Then don't talk to him.
Okay, all right.
What are you going to do? Talk to him, and what happens? He charges you anyhow, but now you have... Well, I told him that the block... I just told him the crazy story you told me on the air, right?
That's the truth.
I don't care. It's can and will be used against you in a court of law because it gets them 90% of the way there.
Yeah, okay.
How can they even prove you shot a deer or where you shot the deer in relation to that salt block? How can he prove that? Because you're going to tell him where you were when you shot the deer.
Well, it depends. It depends when he came up there and took the salt
right.
block.
So how are you going to... So why even talk to him? Why? Why? Oh, my God, you're driving me nuts. I still think, after I get off the air with you, you're going to be a dummy and talk to him, and at some point you're going to say, well, I just didn't feel like it was the right thing to do to remain silent. And then you're going to call me, and go, I got cited, and I don't understand why.
No, I'm not going to call him.
All right. Don't ever talk to him. Ever. Ever. Listen to me. Ever. Can you accept that as an answer?
Yes, I do.
I walked into a parking lot one night with all my buddies, and the game warden's there. And you know what he says? Can I check your gun? Do you know what I told him? What did I tell him? Come on, you know the answer. What did I tell him?
Well, no.
I told him no.
Yeah.
Why would I? Maybe I had bullets in it. Maybe I didn't. None of his damn business, is it?
No, it isn't.
So, why would you answer questions for the law? Never. Okay. Never. All right.
I gotcha.
All right. Thank you. So now, next fall, when you're in your tree stand, because this is how game wardens are. Game wardens are like stray puppies, okay?
Yes. Oh, I expect that.
You can't get rid of them. You can't. So here's what's going to happen. He's going to be up there nipping at your heels. Hey, just want to ask you a question. I'm going to be like, get the hell out of the woods. You're scaring the deer away, you big green dummy.
He would be on our property.
Which he can do.
Yes. Oh, yeah, I understand that. But he can't harass you while you're hunting, right?
Well, he's not harassing. He's investigating. But that's what I told him. That's why I said, get out of here, big green dummy. Get out of here.
Yeah.
But, the answer is, that's what you got to do. All right?
Yep.
So, I'm just going to explain it.
If you say don't talk to him, you know what? That suits me.
I got three guys that got themselves up in trouble in one of the upper counties, And when you go back through the whole case, if they'd have just shut their mouths from the very beginning, but they thought they were doing the right thing. Now one of them doesn't have a hunting license.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
So they thought they were doing the right thing, and they thought they were trying to be cooperative, and they thought we were just being stand-up guys answering questions for the government.
Yeah.
All right.
I got you.
All right. I hope I got you convinced.
You know what? You do beyond a shadow of a doubt. I was just curious as far as him coming and harassing me when I'm in my stand, which he will, I figured anyway, but I can just harass him right back.
Well, you can harass him to a certain extent, you know what I mean?
I know. There's a certain line that we can't cross, but they don't have to worry about. I'm fully aware of that.
Right.
All right. Hey, thank you very much.
No problem.
Take your advice.
Just cover yourself in skunk scent and give him a big hug when you see him, all right?
Yeah, I will take your advice. Thank you.
All right, take care. Oh, boy, I have to get a little ballistic sometimes, only because I know he's thinking. I can hear it. I can hear the wheels in his head going, yeah, but if I tell the game warden, don't tell him anything. Now, let's take a couple. Steve and Joe, hold on. I'm going to do you next, Steve, and then Joe probably after the break. But I'm going to take a couple from the mailbag here. All right, here's one. My ex-boyfriend went out to dinner with my sister. Can I get a restraining order against him? And my question is why? I mean, I noticed you said your ex-boyfriend went out with your sister. Big deal. Was it romantic? Maybe, maybe not. Who cares? Notice the word ex. If it was your current boyfriend, I guess I'd break up with him. But restraining orders, we really don't have those in Pennsylvania. If you consulted with any knowledgeable lawyer, you'd probably know that. But that's okay. What else we got in the grab bag here? Let's see. My employer's crazy ex is repeatedly calling me for no apparent reason, trying to get info on my boss. It makes no sense since he kicked her to the curb recently. What can I do to make this harassment stop? I would just stop taking their phone calls. That's what I would do. Obviously, they're insane. 540-0580. And did I lose my guy on the moped there? Shane, did I lose the moped guy? Oh, well, here, I'm going to get him. Why do you have him? Oh, Steve. Okay, never mind. What am I talking about? Steve, you're on the air.
Okay, mine does relate to a moped. Here's what we're talking about.
Okay.
I was an insurance agent for 23 years and retired at 99. I recently talked to a person who has a moped and injured his leg and has no insurance and needs medical care. And I said, well, I'm pretty sure that you can collect under your auto policy. Now, the reason I say that is, at the time, if you, when I was practicing, the car could be parked and you could be sitting on a car that wasn't even moving and fall off the car, and you could still collect medical payment because it was a motorized vehicle.
Right.
Does he have any way to collect from his own auto policy under this condition because it was a motorized vehicle, or no?
Well, auto policies come with two flavors, okay? Some will cover you when you're on a motorcycle for purposes of, say, uninsured, underinsured, or other types of coverage, maybe even first party. But most of them these days that I see have a square motorcycle exclusion.
All right.
So the next question is a moped a motorcycle?
Well, that's a good question. But suppose he has both. He has a motorcycle policy, but he's under and I don't know.
That's what I mean. I'm saying they have exclusion. So most auto policies now will not cover you for anything or everything that happens with your two-wheel vehicle.
Okay.
They have pretty firm exclusionary language in there, so you're stuck with just your motorcycle policy.
All right, he has a motorcycle policy. Does it have to have medical payment?
My understanding, if I understand this right, I don't think that they do carry it, that they have to carry it.
It's not 1535 now.
I think I can sell you an auto policy has to have first party medical benefits. I'm pretty sure a motorcycle policy does not.
That's a shame.
I'm pretty sure that's the answer.
So it sounds like he's something.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
I think,
you very much.
But I would want to check that. So, but I think that'd be pretty easy to check. I think I'd just call the insurance commissioner if I want to get it done for free.
Well, and it is interesting and true that as far as a four-wheel vehicle, the car can be sitting still, and you could be up on top of it, jumping around and fall off of it, and it's covered. I mean,
right? You could use mandatory PIP on there, but
that's right.
All right, my friend.
All right. Thank you.
All right, bye. 540-0580. I'm late for the break. Oh, my. I just posted some funny autocorrects to Facebook, and I was just reading one, and very amusing stuff. 540-0580. Hi, Jeff. You want to talk about talking to the police? Do you want to talk to the police? What's going on?
Well,
Tell me.
No, I don't. I know that's... hey, I saw you... I saw the YouTube video. I know the routine here. I mean, that's a great. I couldn't recommend that enough. The one that you had talked about a long time ago, it seems.
Right.
You put me onto that with the Guide Virginia, I believe, and so that was excellent. But I do have a complaint about your show.
Okay, what did I do?
And that is the time slot.
Oh.
Who do I call to say get this? Again, this is going to sound like a relative calling, but I find this show very informative. I never listen where I don't learn something, because most of us, unlike yourself and people that are professionals at this, We don't know this stuff. There's no way we could know it all.
No, and the government, quite frankly, for the good administration of justice, doesn't really want people to know their rights that much either. So, I
think that's obvious by what's going on now. They not only don't want us to have a right, they'd like to snoop in and find out what we're doing every day, every minute of the day.
Well,
but I also there's one thing though that I've never you haven't ever clarified. I brought it up one time, and I still will never understand why the police, when they're questioning people, can lie to them, and yet if you lie to them, you're 1 foot in the slammer. With the other one headed in right behind it.
Well,
that
and here's
make any sense.
Here's the
Carl. They're supposed to be upholding the law, not breaking it by lying.
But lying is not a crime, and let me explain. Okay, if I go home and tell my wife, "No, baby, I didn't sleep with the secretary," that's a lie, right?
That's right.
Of course, I slept with the secretary twice, as a matter of fact. But the long and short of it is, it's not a crime to tell a lie, right?
I understand that.
It's a crime to tell a lie to law enforcement. So when law enforcement tells a lie to you, you're not law enforcement, therefore it's not a crime. It's just like you lying to your wife. When you lie to them, it's like you lying to the police.
I guess I'm looking at it rather simplistically, like, okay, look, you represent the law. You should be setting an example.
See, but that's because you have you have some belief that the law is good or just or something, okay?
I was hoping you'd defend the law there.
But no.
All of us should be setting a better example.
The laws of America and the law in general, okay, are no different than the laws of a despot, are no different than the laws of Nazi Germany, are no different than any other laws in that they're just a set of rules around which society assembles itself, okay? So they are neither good or evil, nor do they strive to be good nor evil, arguably. So then along comes some men, right, and over human history have said, well, let's try to be just. Let's try to come up with a series of laws that are more fair. And what we'll do is we'll start with the proposition that all people are created equal. We'll start with the proposition that everybody's entitled to pursue happiness, right? And we'll start with the proposition that government shouldn't just take your property. We're going to try to build up a series of laws on that basis. And they did it with a Declaration of Independence. Now, the Constitution was not their first attempt at getting it right. The Articles of the Confederation came next, right?
Yeah.
They didn't work so well, so then they came up with the Constitution. Nobody really wanted the Constitution until they added the Bill of Rights to it, which was the 10 prescriptions against government power. And ever since then, we've been watering the thing down as best we can because the nature of government and its desires are very different than what I think the founders were trying to say when they created. I'm waxing philosophical for one second. What I think the founders were trying to say is this: government is bad, is wrong, and at the end of the day, you can't trust it. Okay. So we got to get back into the mind frame, not where we expect government to do the right thing, but where we expect government to always come to the wrong decision. And therefore, we only want as little government as is necessary, I think was what the founders were trying. The founders were essentially libertarians in that regard. The government was a necessary evil. You've got to be able to organize an army and a navy, to make commerce go. You've got to be able to protect your territories against the religious zealots and bad people out there who would see you harm. But at the same time, government is as I think one of the original philosophers said, a leviathan. And once it's in place, it just can't be gotten rid of. So I want you to go back, reset your framework of how you would view the police or any government actor, and assume that while they may be nice people, they represent a power that tends to want to live a life onto its own self, like a meme. Government's a meme that's self-sustaining, and it's not going to let little bunch of democracy get in its way.
Yeah. But Carl, my wife and I have been watching. I DVR them, and so I can go through the commercials. But these shows on. I don't know what station they're on, but it's called ID, and they go back and do these cases. Of course, they have to go through them quickly in an hour. I mean, they can't do everything. Right. But it's amazing how many clips they show from time to time of suspects in room with two detectives and not a lawyer within sight, and they're answering all these questions. I'm thinking, are you nuts? I mean, and then they leave the room, and then they come back, and I'm thinking, this without a lawyer. Now, I know that's legal for them to do that.
Oh, yeah.
But I'm thinking, man, oh, man, these people are clueless. That's why I'm saying this show should be on at a time. I don't think this time slot's great because, especially in nice weather, people are out doing.
Well, I know. They give me the dregs here. What can I tell you? But then again, I don't have to.
Not your call, but I mean.
I can still party like it's 1999, though, on Friday night. Make it here on time.
Look, I'm going to throw an email to WHP. They'll probably just laugh at it and delete it. But you don't speak up, then you don't get heard. And I think this is a very informative show. You're not on here telling. Well, if you told jokes, that's fine. But I mean, it's not like the comedy hour, which people could, be fine if they wanted to laugh, and if they didn't, okay. But it's so informative, and maybe it's just because I have a little more interest in.
I try to work some stuff in there. Now, let me tell you some why I got you, Jeff, real quick.
Yeah.
Here's one that's just revealing today. Now we find out that the NSA admits that there might have been 10 or 11 or 12 times that an analyst or somebody. Well, when I get back from the break, we're going to talk about it. So you just keep listening, okay?
Sure.
540-0580. We get back from the break. We'll talk a little bit about the evil NSA, maybe the evil IRS, maybe the evil Joe Obama. Anyhow, Joe we'll talk to too as well. And somebody wants to talk about a car accident. We'll talk about that. Carl Rominger here. Go to RomingerLaw.com to learn about me throughout the week. Hit me up on Facebook. The office number is 241-6070. The talk line number is 540-0580. See you in a few minutes.